Welcome back to the Sports Source. This segment brought to you by Daniel Hood Roofing. Honest, fair prices, dozens of 5-star Google reviews, easy financing, and lifetime warranties. You can't beat that. If you're in need of a new roof, or maybe you want a free inspection to make up your mind about that, call Daniel Hood Roofing today. As soon as the show's over, visit them online, danielhoodroofing.com. Okay, take a look at this. I'm sorry, I know you don't want to, but there it is. Well, last week we did, if you want happy, go back and watch last week on YouTube. We did the best wins. This one, where does this loss rank in terms of worst losses ever in the NCAA tournament for Tennessee? 76, you lost to VMI. That was a year before. That was before the tournament started seeding teams the way they do now. So there were no seeds on that. But to lose to VMI with that team in 76, pretty bad. For my money, the 99 loss, a 4 to a 12, when Steve Alford and Southwest Missouri State beat you by 30, that's hard to beat. You've had some heartbreakers. You were upset by North Carolina in the Sweet 16 round. Bruce Pearl got a 2 seed in his first year and somehow lost to Wichita State. Louisville blew you out in a Sweet 16 team. That was that great number 1 team that Tennessee had. Michigan beat you by 30, that was just a brutal day. That was Bruce Pearl's last game, and you knew they were playing funeral dirges while he coached. Loyola Chicago upset, lost in a 5-12 game to Oregon State. Michigan last year was ridiculous. And then this one, I got less problem with this one than a lot of the others on there, but I'm going Southwest Missouri State. That's the worst tournament game I've ever seen. Against that competition, I'm like, what are you doing? So where are you guys going? What's the worst?
I'm going to probably jump in there with you, and just to tell you where I think this one is,
Yes.
I think it's close to the bottom. As far as the worst,
Yeah.
FAU is close to the bottom for me. So I'm going to go Southwest Missouri State, too. I remember the VMI game. It wasn't pretty, just a different day and time. So I'm going Southwest Missouri State.
Yeah, the FAU thing, the thing that really hurts about it is the opportunity lost. But Ryan, where are you?
Yeah, I completely agree. The one that immediately came to mind before you even showed the list was Southwest Missouri State. That was a horrible game. So I think that one stands out. Some of those teams, I mean, went pretty deep in the tournament after beating Tennessee. So that did take the sting off a little bit, maybe, if you're looking for justification. I'm with you. I think Florida Atlantic ranks near the bottom because we talked last week about why they were a tough matchup. This is a 30-plus win team that's legitimately good. I mean, this is just a tough matchup that happens to have a 9 next to their name.
Whatever happens the rest of the way, they're going to finish this season with more wins than anybody else in the nation. That's not a bad team you lost to. Josh?
So I would rank FAU higher than maybe you would here because of the opportunity, and that's a big part of it. But that's why I'm going to go back to 2000. Same round, Sweet 16. Brendan Haywood's in foul trouble for North Carolina. You have a lead in that game, and they come back to beat you. So it would have been a win over North Carolina, one of the biggest names in basketball, to go to the first ever Elite Eight at the time in program history. And then who knows after that. And Tennessee had a lot of talent at that time. So from that list, I'll take the 2000 Sweet 16 loss to UNC.
That's a good one. That's a very good one. Chuck?
I'm still bitter about 2018 in Loyola Chicago because you were so close to doing some great things then. And that really was the end of a very special era of Tennessee basketball. And it was, 1 point without Kyle Alexander?
Yeah.
And that's the one that you can always go back. I still do. I still, what was it,
Well, they had
Nunjean?
one-
I still see the picture of Nunjean on the sidelines.
Yeah.
But it's the one that really sticks to me. But
Still see the
Southwest
tweets.
Missouri State was second on my list.
I think last year's Michigan loss was worse than this one.
I do too.
Yeah.
I think
Because I thought that was a better basketball team last year for Tennessee.
and I think FAU is a far better team than that Michigan team was.
Exactly.
And the Oregon State game was a pretty good no-show, too. Even though that Oregon State team turned out to be pretty good, that was a big no-show.
Here's the problem. 4 of those on the list
Under Barnes.
under Barnes.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, he lost again to another lower seed. You get the good with Barnes, you get the bad with Barnes. That's the bad with Barnes. Okay. One thing I will say, though, and I just want to quickly get this in. I get it in every time somebody does it. I know you would do it, so I'm not going to let you. Whenever Tennessee loses a game like this, people say, if not now, when? You know, if you can't get there this year, and Alabama fans are saying it too, it was laid out for us. If not now, when?
Yeah.
And I always go back to 1997, Tennessee goes to Florida with Peyton Manning, and you still can't beat them. You wind up winning the SEC championship, even though you lose to Florida. And you're sitting there at the end of the year saying, if we can't beat them in a year we're SEC champions and we got Peyton Manning, when will we? The very next year with a new quarterback that nobody anticipated. I don't like the if not now, when question because, as Bob pointed out earlier, you never know. Anything could happen. So If not now, when? I just hate that question. Hate that comment. All right.
Especially in the transfer portal era.
Yeah, good point. Good point. All right. When we come back, Kelly Harper, Joe Milton, neutral site games, football, recruiting. We're covering them all. Come on back on the Sports Source.